Welcome back to Market Day Report. I am Scott Shelby, otherwise known as the Cow Guy, and I'm here to bring you these markets as we get ready to go away for the weekend and then get ready for next week's USDA report. Let's see what the corn's been doing. It's been kind of languishing today around this level. Maybe this is a little lower than we have been before, but we've got that D's corn contract at down 5 1/4 cents. That's only a penny off the lows at 5.54. The low is 5.53. We have been 9 cents better than this today, or 8 cents better than that. So we have given up some decent real estate there. Let's take a look at what's happening over in soybeans. Soybeans double-digit losses now. Jan's at 12.09 even. That's last. That's down 13 3/4 cents. March is off the same, 13 3/4 cents at 12.20 1/2. All right. How about March, or how about the wheat in Chicago? That is easier as well. Deese is off 6 1/4 cents. It's 767 1/2, and I'm going to keep an eye on this one because we're only a tick off the lows there. March is at 5 1/4 cents lower, 781 last. We're a half cent off the lows in March. So let's put a little sticker on this one. We're going to have to revisit that and make sure that we have a feeling for what's been going on over there because that's right now on the lows, basically. Hard red wheat in Kansas City, December's off 6 1/2 cents at 779 1/2, and we're going to have to throw this in that bucket too because they're only a 1/4 cent off the lows there. March is off 6 cents at 783 1/2, and that's a 1/4 cent off the lows. Look, we have been about 12 cents higher in these contracts overnight, so this is a significant loss. Let's make sure we keep an eye on those. How about spring wheat? Anything better over in Minneapolis? They're just not off as much, I guess. We have a 6 3/4 cent loss in that D's contract there. That's 10 1/4. We're about 3 cents off the low, so we're not quite as bad. March is off 3 3/4 cents at 997 1/2. We have lost that $10 handle in that March contract. And let's take a quick look over at cotton before we go to our next guest. Cotton's off 50 cents at 115.96. All right, let's bring in Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading. Where in the world is Todd today? He is, look at that art, that art behind him. He's got the Monet, he's got the Renoir, he's got it all going on. It's got it all going on. He's got to be in Las Vegas. That's where he keeps his art collection. And we're lucky to all get a quick gander at it right now. All right. What do you think, Todd? There's lots going on in our markets, getting ready for the report next week. Lots going on outside of our markets. What do you feel like talking about?
Well, no, listen, I think the grains look fine. I mean, you're going to get some pullback. I mean, soybeans are a concern, as they have been. We continue to talk about that 12.50 Jan level, which has not been able to hold. But wheat and corn, I think, listen, that's a little bit natural selling. They're much higher than they were a couple of weeks ago, and I think they're going to continue to move higher. But I think today, you had the jobs number this morning, which was a good number, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to gauge are these numbers good or not, but the equity markets are exploding higher as the melt up continues. And I think it just naturally takes some money away from some of the outside markets like the grains. And when I watch it, I mean, there's nothing, I don't think there's any real panic here. I think that there's a little bit of natural sell-off that you would expect after a nice rally going into a USDA report next week and going into the weekend. And, again, you see the money's, there's only so much that's going to go so many places. And right now, it's just pouring into the equity market. And even oil, which had actually turned trend, but is having a huge spike up today as well, which is never good for farmers.
Right. And there's just any number of stories out there that will tell you that soybeans should be trading heavy, with whether it's from South America or switching here in the States or inputs or whatever. So that market's just been kind of languishing to trading lower all week. And you're right. We got a report this morning from the government as far as jobs go. Expectations were driven so low that we were going to have to beat it, and we did. But we'll wait and see. All right. Stay right where you are in front of that great art. We're going to come back after we go away and pay some bills. We'll talk livestock with Todd Horowitz after this. Welcome back to Market Day Report. Thanks for staying with us. If you've been with us all morning, it's been a great morning. I've had a blast. And if you're just joining us, thanks for tuning in, because we're going to get things all tuned up going into the close. Let's take a look at that live cattle market, because these markets ultimately, again, like I say, they're going to be your money. So let's take a look at that live cattle table. That comes up as a decent one today. We're up a buck, or we just ticked off 97 cents higher, and that D's contract at 131.60. Feb's up $1.02 at 136.87. All right, how about feeders? What do we have happening over there? Feeder cattle are also higher, and we've got a $1.10 gain in Jan. That's 159.27 last. March is up $1.12 at 160.45. Moving right along, the lean hogs, they were easier today, and they still are. We've got D's down $1.10 at 76.77. Feb off 62 cents at 79.55. All right, let's bring back in Todd Horowitz from Las Vegas. All right, Todd, the floor is yours. You can talk about livestock, or if you want to throw anything else at me, feel free.
Well, of course, I will talk about livestock. I mean, it looks good. I mean, I think the whole complex now looks good, and I think we're going to see, higher prices are coming. I think when we look at the bigger picture, and again, obviously, there's always the one caveat of other things that can happen, but basically, everything being equal, we're going higher. I think the economy's in trouble. I think the bond markets are pushing up much higher, as you and I talked about, and that is not a healthy sign, especially in the inflationary times we have that they refuse to admit that we have. And these are going to be bigger issues down the road. And unfortunately, they're setting everything up to fail. And I think that's a concern because there'll be a big thud when this finally decides that it's enough.
Yeah, I'll just make it simple for everybody out there and expand upon what you said before we go here. We've got an inflation reading where the economy is experiencing 5.4% inflation year over year, right? So everything's gone up by 5.4%. Some things like obviously gasoline has gone up by 40%, but all in all, on average, 5.4%. And today we got a reading when average earnings have gone up 4.9%. So earnings aren't keeping up with inflation. So that means we're all losing money, and that's no bueno. So to your point, thank you very much, Todd. That's Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading coming to us in Las Vegas. I'm in Nashville. So is Christina, and I'm going to give it back to her now.